This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Green light for pod. Pod is go.
Pod is go. And you know what? We spoke to an astronaut today.
Stick that in your pie hole.
Catherine Vanell-Pegg is an Australian and the first Australian astronaut. There are two that have gone to space, but they did that under an American flag.
Yep.
She's the first fully Australian astronaut.
You're going to find out why I thought Bunnings had killed me.
Absolutely.
And we're going to find out what happens when you break up with somebody and they want to soften the blow.
Oh my God,
that's great,
that is actually really good. Yeah. And I take a simple recipe to the next level, and it has got the world by storm.
It couldn't be a simpler recipe, to be honest. Recipe's a loose term.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Can't believe someone won Lotto last night.
Yeah.
All of it, Sean, $40 million.
I did buy a ticket.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Got me
matter.
again.
You wouldn't have won.
But
we were doing ads for it yesterday now.
Yeah.
I was like, make sure I get in. 40
Yeah.
million's a lot of money.
In Perth, 3 people won $57,143.
So that's Division 2.
Yeah.
Division 2 last week paid $100,000 though.
I know. More people
two
playing
of
in the
those
draw.
people.
But
Yeah.
that is, again, getting back to what we spoke about it before. You won.
That's your Watto lot. Your one number off.
Your one number
but
off.
this is for your pay bracket. It is. Amy, our producer, wouldn't you, Amy? $57,000.
Yeah.
What
I mean,
was
you're not
that?
gonna-
What
no,
would
you're
that
not
do
gonna
for
spit
you?
it.
Getting me a new kitchen.
But that's your lotto luck.
Yeah, that's it. Your Lotto luck's gone. That's
Yeah.
the way you got to look at it.
No, I think it's gone. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not.
Because I just don't think it would be any
It's
better.
hard not to be disappointed.
You've got $57,000. Great, that's
Yep.
amazing. You were one number off 40 million.
Yeah, but this is why it doesn't register to you, Sean, because you get paid $57,000 a day to be here.
Yeah, sure, mate. I've got 4 kids, a wife, and a dog. You got me covered by a country mile, mate.
Don't pretend that you do anything for the dog.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
In just a few minutes' time,
Yeah.
we heart food.
We
heart
do.
food.
We love food.
Can I tell you, all I've eaten really over the last few days was some toast and butter last night. So I'm starving.
Toast and butter, that is boring as
No,
well.
Sean,
Don't put any condiment
I
on
know
there.
you think that, but Nathan
Everybody,
Gore made
is it
up.
boring? Is it boring? No.
It is
what
boring.
I do, Sean,
Yes.
is I sometimes
Save it till we enter you as a
Okay,
dish
I'll
in
save
I
it.
Heart
Entering your
Food.
dish?
I'll save my
Okay.
dish.
It's how
Okay.
to fancy up toast.
But I don't want to
You're
win
not
because I'm going to be there anyway.
You're not going to believe it. This could be a bonus course that we serve.
I have to tell you, out of anything I've ever talked about me making food, this is the most anyone's ever been interested in the room. And everyone was on board.
I'm just going to put it, don't be. Our obsession with food continues. We want to know if you've got a signature dish that will capture our heart.
Yes, you need to share your culinary masterpieces with us for your chance to win big.
Yeah, the best dish will not only take home $500 cash today, but also they're going to score an exclusive invitation to our Heart & Co brunch where something amazing will
And that's
happen.
on Friday.
Yeah.
So on Friday, 3 dishes will be served.
Yep.
If you look down and see your dish, that means you'll know you're a finalist because the ultimate winner will score $5,000 worth of Neff kitchen appliances.
And I just love the fact that, and even we won't really know exactly what's going to be happening
No,
in the
we
day
won't. We won't.
because we are only part of the judging.
That's right.
Yeah, there's going to be
There's
a
an
whole team of
extensive
proper
panel.
judges.
Now, you need
Yeah.
to tell us about your creation. We're just brainstorming a few things that we've...
So some of the things that are in there so far, Nathan, you weren't here for the last couple. So apricot naaman chicken breast
Yeah.
from
Naaman.
Ashley and a potato baked with cheesy garlic bread baked on top of it.
To
That's
be
carbs,
honest,
mate.
I'm all about that.
That's a lot.
You know, I haven't heard of an amazing soup that someone's brought to a house.
No one's
because
here for soup.
nobody asked for
No
soup.
one's going, I'm going
Nobody
to your
says,
house for some soup. Get
Hey,
the soup ready.
Can you bring us your soup?
Yeah, Sean. When you're drinking food, you should do it in privacy of your own home.
Really?
Yeah, we've
In
still
your
got
bedroom?
teeth. We've still got teeth.
Yeah.
So we'd like to bite
love
things.
soup.
Hey, so I did tell you about my toast.
Oh yes.
No, yeah, I haven't.
And
I
How
haven't
you
heard
took it to the next level.
What is
Right.
it?
So, Sean, what I do is...
Hang on, you want to write this down?
Yeah, everyone can write
So
this
you need-
down.
you need
And
toast?
is this going to be an official entry?
Yes.
You need
I'll pay it.
toast.
So you need some bread,
Toast.
you need some butter, and then you need 2 other things, Sean. Because on your toast, right, plenty of butter, and then you want to sprinkle some sea salt and a little bit of pepper on top. And then it
That's
takes
it.
it to the next
It's
level.
salt and pepper
But can I
toast.
talk about the next level? The next level is I buy this smoked river gum salt.
You're pretty up yourself.
Oh, you are the biggest wanker I've heard about.
I make smoked salt money. Yes.
Money back.
It comes in a little ceramic jar with a little wooden spoon, and when you're using it, I really wish I lived
Really?
with someone because I want people to see me do it because I feel like Donna Hay. Here's my little salt spoon. Anyway, yeah, and then just the flavoured salt, just a sprinkling, just a touch here and there.
What do your parents make of you buying that kind of salt?
I told them about the toast, and they're bringing over food tonight for me because they're worried.
Because they're not eating properly. That is legit the saddest
You know what
thing
they're
they've
bringing
ever
over?
heard.
Sean, you know what they're bringing over?
tonight to
You know
say
what they're
that.
bringing over?
What?
Soup. I'm not joking.
I'm coming over.
They're bringing over chicken
I'm
soup
coming over,
because I
I'm
was
on.
sick. I said, no, chicken soup's for when you still are sick.
$22 for salt with $23.
Hey, lasts for ages.
$22.89.
No, that's the big refill pack.
Jesus.
Yeah.
My word.
Oh, you found the most expensive
Cost
one, Harry.
of
You
living.
buy it
We
at Farmer
cost
Jack's.
of living, Harry.
Oh, you need the refill pack.
Yeah, but you buy it at Farmer
Where's
Jack's.
the
It's
one
cheaper
that
than
comes in the,
That's a 500 gram bag.
We need,
Not rolling
yeah,
in
no,
salt.
but you've got ceramic pot money.
You can look at the
Oh my God.
Oh,
Refill craft
$10
canister.
still.
Yeah, so that's the refill I'll buy for my
Yes.
ceramic pot with a little wooden spoon.
Okay, so as your baseline.
He's changed since he's been sick.
Your
He's
baseline
changed.
is salt and pepper toast. If you could do better than that.
Actually, I've never heard of it. I think it's a good idea.
Thank
Look, you can suggest whatever you like. We don't have a lot of desserts on
No,
the
we
list.
don't.
So
So
if
you've got to kill a dessert.
yeah.
But
Hit us up.
please, if anyone tries my salt and pepper toast, please let me know how it is.
Yeah, we like the feedback.
If you
Righto.
indeed have also given up on life, then yes,
no,
let us
Natalie,
know.
it's grabbing the small things from life and taking it to another level.
Nathan,
Because you have nothing
responsibly,
left,
we
nothing
officially have to ask you,
Yeah.
are you okay?
Oh, to be honest, not doing well.
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It's time to hear about everybody's beautiful signature dishes because ultimately we're going to be dining on the top 3 on Friday all together.
Yep.
And somebody, the winner, the greatest dish of all, will score $5,000 worth of Neff kitchen appliances from Heart & Co. Incredible.
Absolutely. So far, Nathan's winning this morning with salt and pepper toast, but Libby from East Freo wants to pitch in. Morning, Lib.
Good morning.
How are you?
What do you think about the salt and pepper toast?
Well, it's interesting, but yeah, no.
Oh, hey,
She thinks it sounds like you got nothing in the
remember,
pantry,
you
doesn't
should be
it?
winning me over because I might be, I could stop
she
you
thinks
from
you're a
getting
basic bitch, Nathan, is what she's trying to say.
No,
I mean, I don't want to
I'm
put
a
words in her
basic
mouth.
bitch, but I've got some nice salt.
All right,
I have been
Libby.
guilty of doing toast with yogurt, not yogurt, olive oil and salt and pepper. So
Oh, really?
Oh,
Okay,
fancy.
Okay, there's another
All right.
twist.
All right, Libby, what dish is your signature dish that everybody asks you to make?
mine is a strawberry yogurt cake.
Not even heard
How
of
does
this.
this work? What is it?
So it's kind of like a normal cake, like with self-raising flour and, your sugar and your vanilla and eggs and that type of thing. But you also add in a cup of Greek yogurt and you also add into the mix a punnet of chopped fresh strawberries. And it's really easy. And then you just sort of mix it all together and put almond flakes on the top and bake it. But then when it's baked, after it comes out and cools a bit, you add a punnet of chopped fresh strawberries,
Yeah.
and you mix in lemon juice and caster sugar, and you make like a syrup, and then you pour that over the top, and then you serve it with just some extra yogurt, and it's really yummy.
Yeah.
Are you happy until the syrup?
Oh, no, the syrup will keep it really moist.
I know, but that's so sweet.
Yeah, it's a cake.
I know,
No,
but
it's not the
No,
lemon
but the
juice.
yogurt.
Right, really?
The lemon
Because
juice
if
and the
something's
yogurt
too
would cut
sweet,
through
I'm
it.
out.
Yeah.
Libby, unfortunately, myself and Harry had to vote on a cake before that Natalie cooked and it had fruit in it, which is what's happening
It
here.
had the really exotic fruit of apples. So
I
you're
forgot-
saying because she's put the exotic taste of strawberries into a cake, you can't deal with
Can't
it?
vote for
But I'm
it.
guessing
Can't
that
vote
would
for it.
all sort of like melt and it'd
Yeah,
be like
it'd
a
be
little
beautiful.
pockets of jam or something
would
in
be.
the cake.
Another question: where did the word punnet come from? Who came up with that?
Okay, do we need to get into that?
We'll
We've got
find
two
out.
more
You know
people.
what? We'll park that for a
Like,
second.
Okay,
literally
thank you.
nobody cares.
Look, I'm open to
That's a
new
really good
things.
question.
Yeah.
I'm open to that. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that.
Thanks, Libby. You hang
Thanks,
there.
Libby.
Thanks, Libby.
Olivia's in Singleton. Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
All right,
Liv.
Olivia.
Olivia. You get invited around. What do we beg you to bring because it's so great?
I make a fantastic butter chicken with a cheesy garlic focaccia on the side.
Focaccia?
Now-
That's a bit...
Yeah.
I would have thought it'd
different,
be a
isn't it?
garlic
Can just
naan.
step
Yeah.
in. You guys
I-
were with me for my first butter chicken experience ever.
Yes.
I'd never
Yes.
had it. And to be honest, the only time I've had it was with you two at that time. So this would be my second butter chicken experience.
What's the secret to your butter chicken?
Just some good marination and getting all the the measurements right with the spices, and
Sure.
it turns out really good.
So you toast your own spices and everything. You're not just buying a jar of Patek's, are you?
Yeah, I'm toasting all my spices.
Oh, wow.
The focaccia bread, the cheesy
Yes.
focaccia bread.
Talk to me.
Controversial.
Well,
'cause-
we're Indian with Italian.
yes,
Is that what we are?
We're crossing cultures
I
here.
love any fusion.
Although, to be fair,
Love
butter
fusion.
chicken's not overly Indian.
Yeah.
It was kind of invented
Yeah,
by the
no, but
British,
the-
but yeah.
Well, I'm yet to master a good naan. I can make a good naan, but I find this recipe for this cheesy garlic and focaccia just fantastic.
Okay.
It's all about patience and letting it rest really well, and it turned out fantastic.
I tell you what, we've really entered the focaccia era
Yes.
again, because it was brought to prominence by that famous sandwich shop in Florence, and now everyone is doing dupes of. One here would be 2 slices. Yes, and that's how it's a very hot thing at the moment, focaccia. Yeah.
It's come back a bit.
It's come
yeah,
back now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after it was brilliant in the late 90s. We all
I
got into
remember
it.
we all got into that.
So
That was during the time of wedges.
We thought we were fancy.
Wedges.
That's when we first found out about aioli.
Olivia, you hang there. Your butter chicken with your cheesy garlic focaccia is a contender. And now Rianda, hello.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi,
Rianda.
Rianda.
Hi, honey.
What do you get begged to bring to every dinner party because it's so good?
My famous Cointreau trifle.
Oh,
Trifle.
Nathan just dropped his
You've
pen.
got a Morris on the bandwagon.
Okay, let's hear it. What is in your... Run us through all the layers of your trifle.
All right, it's 6 tablespoons of Cointreau. That's the main thing, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Booze
you've got
hound.
your amaretto biscuit.
Yes, very
So
important.
you pour the Cointreau over them
Yep.
to
Yes.
soak them, okay? And then you can use fresh or tinned fruit, just peaches or mandarins, and you
Oh.
put that in.
Mandarins.
Yeah. And then you heat some marmalade on a low heat.
Yes.
Yeah. And you pile all the fruit and the marmalade over the biscuits, right?
Yeah.
And then you get your custard.
Yep.
You pour that over the soaked Cointreau biscuits, right?
Yep.
You leave it to set in the fridge overnight,
Okay.
and then the next morning you whip double cream with icing sugar, and you use a piping bag to put little rosettes
Fancy.
all over it.
Yes.
And then you put like chocolate and orange hundreds and thousands over it,
Oh.
and you chill an hour before serving.
I love you.
I love
And
Rianda.
then-
Rianda.
We've written
Wait,
this, we've written
there's
this all
more.
down.
There's
Wait,
more.
there's Sean. Shush.
Keep going, Rianda.
and then just enjoy.
Oh, and enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Enjoy.
Well, that was the most important part. Now you eat it. Now what? Now what? Oh, you enjoy it.
Okay, so there's a lot in there. It's a very
Yeah.
complicated
There's
thing.
some controversial things in there as well.
Controversial.
Controversial,
Hey, hey.
Natalie. There's I don't ever really think of putting a citrus fruit into my.
I know, but Cointreau is
I get
orange
that.
flavoured, so
I get
yeah,
that.
it makes
so,
sense
so that,
in that
that's
context.
and also for you, Natalie, it's the fresh cream.
Yeah, but it's mixed with icing sugar, so,
So
I
that's
could almost
okay.
get past
yeah,
it.
okay.
Yeah,
Because there were 2 hot points there.
Yes.
All right,
Sean just heard fruit and
No,
zoned
but
out.
you're
I've
fine
always
with fruit
said-
and a dessert, though, aren't you?
No, he
No.
wouldn't. He didn't like the strawberry cake.
No. And I've always said that trifles for people who don't have their own teeth. So I can't back away from that.
soup man.
Oh, yeah. There's more bloody substance in the trifle. Okay, drink your food, Sean. Drink it.
Mate, can't do it at all.
Okay, so we've got some
I know who I'm
important
voting
decisions to
for.
make. We've got
Okay.
the Libby's strawberry yogurt cake. We've got Olivia's butter chicken with her cheesy garlic focaccia, and we've got Rianda's Cointreau trifle that we could
What
just
number are you?
enjoy.
Okay, straight. I'm
What,
going to be.
what number is the salt and pepper toast?
That's
That's a bonus
that's
round.
a bonus. That's 5. That's 11 fingers. Put
He's
up 11
not.
fingers.
He's not a contender in
Sean
this.
wants the toast.
He's not a contender in
Sean,
this round.
I work with you every day. You can have the toast anytime.
Yeah.
Straight away, I'd say I naturally am drawn to savoury because of this time in the morning. So the butter
Sure.
chicken is the one that's screaming at the moment, but I'm going to fight that because I would like to see perhaps another dessert that might get a run. And
Just got to go with your heart, don't you?
what are you going? Yeah.
All right. Libby, your strawberry yogurt cake even got Sean over the line, Libby. I know you are
Libby.
now shortlisted. We will see
Yep.
you on Friday. You've scored $500 cash and an
my
exclusive
God, thank
invitation
you
to our
so
Heart and
much.
Co brunch, Libby. And if you're one of the final three, we'll be dining on your dish, and you could win $5,000 worth of Neff Kitchen appliances if you are the
Oh my
ultimate
God,
winner.
thank
So
you
good
so
luck,
much.
Lib.
No worries.
And you know what?
was tough.
Out of those three,
Yeah.
the other two I wanted more, but because I naturally go to things that I like, I want to try something new.
Yes, it was the idea that it was something a little bit
Yeah.
out of your comfort zone.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
I'm not
All right.
trying it.
We're doing
You
it.
are. You have to try it.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form. Nathan, Nat, and Sean, and the podcast.
You know when kids say, I want to be an astronaut,
Yeah.
but they don't have any follow through?
Yeah.
We're about to meet a person who did do exactly that. Catherine Bonnell Pegg
Hello, Catherine.
Hey, Catherine.
is an
Hi.
astronaut.
Oh, my God.
Catherine, this is amazing. So you've been through the astronaut training program. You haven't been to space yet, but you are space ready.
That's right. And I'm so excited to have just landed back in Australia and to share all what I've been doing overseas. It's been incredible, and I'm excited for the future too.
Well, I bet.
Beforehand, Sean, the only way you could get into space would be NASA, right? And then,
Yeah.
of course, we have private companies like Elon Musk
Yeah.
and stuff, and they're doing their own companies that can get you up into space. But this is like an official space mission. As an Australian, and you went through the European Astronaut Centre in Germany, can you tell us what that's all about?
Absolutely. So I applied to an astronaut call out of Europe, which is the more traditional, government
Yep.
selection programs, just like NASA.
22,500 people apply for that, by the way. Keep going.
Yeah, that blows my mind still. And once you're selected, you go through what's called astronaut basic training. And at the end of that, which took about a year, you get to call yourself an astronaut. So that year was epic because astronauts have to be all-rounders today, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah.
we learned about like science, engineering, tradie skills, medicine. We got, scuba diving in pools for spacewalks, centrifuges, zero-G flights.
Did
It was
you
epic.
do the thing?
Wild.
Did you do the thing where they've simulated a problem in the spacecraft, and then you only have these things to fix it with because they're on the flight?
We did that a little bit in the selection, actually. So, because as an astronaut, you have to train for all the things that you expect might go wrong
Yeah.
and also all the things that might surprise you. So that's a lot of the training, very
That's
Apollo
amazing.
13 style.
Yes.
It is
Catherine,
incredible.
for everybody listening at the moment, we are looking at you and you're wearing your jumpsuit, which is amazing.
Oh,
Because
Sean,
if that was
I
in a
would-
fancy
Sean,
dress,
there
you'd
would,
be
there would
killing
be
it.
nowhere that I didn't wear that to. I would wear that to the shops, to everything.
100%. The other thing before, I was thinking, you applied for this, 22,500 people, as Nathan was just saying, but what was your background to think that this was a possibility or that you were working to this being a possibility?
Yeah, so I've been a space engineer for almost 15 years, but working on satellites and rockets and
No
space
way.
stations, which is awesome.
You're
But it's
amazing.
really was a childhood dream come true, to be honest. So I always was interested in being an astronaut since I was a young kid, growing up in Australia, and then never really let that dream go. I was pretty stubborn about it. But the nice thing about the astronaut dream is the fallback options are pretty great. Like you can be a scientist, a doctor,
Yep.
a pilot, an engineer. So I was pretty happy being a space engineer, and this is just that cherry on the top. It's amazing.
And
Well,
what's the likelihood that you will actually get to go to space?
Well, I mean, that's a question for Australia to consider. NASA doesn't just swan in and tap you on the shoulder
Yes.
to fly you. It's whether your country chooses to enter into involvement in human space
We
flight.
need
but
to. We do Eurovision. Like, this is bigger than Eurovision. This is amazing.
It's great. But even through the training this year, what's been great is that Aussie scientists are now able to get more involved in putting their experiments up just by being trained. And just yesterday, I got out to the Lego store in Sydney and the
Yes.
excitement
Oh,
in the
yes.
kids.
Yes,
Oh my goodness,
of
the
course.
energy was amazing. They were gorgeous. So many questions. And like 7 out of 10 kids in Australia want to be astronauts. Like
It's
we need
amazing,
to harness
isn't it?
that.
We,
Yeah, we
we don't
do.
have any
We
follow
do.
through clearly
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
because
But
Oh,
you
no.
can't go.
It's-
You don't go to
it's just
high
you.
school and they teach you anything about this,
Well,
and there's
well,
no
Sean,
pathway then to go to
There
uni
are
to do
certain
that.
things
Nate.
that are so unreachable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like an astronaut. Like who would ever think? I come from Kalgoorlie. Who would ever think that you could become? Even radio was unthinkable to me.
Catherine's
So.
proven it's possible.
Yeah. But Catherine, I watched this TV show and I'm waiting for the next season to come out. out. It's on Apple TV called For All Mankind. Have you ever seen or heard of it?
Yes, I have.
Isn't it amazing?
Love space shows.
So basically, it's about the premise of what happened if the Russians beat Americans to the moon and how the space race never would have ended. Now, the one thing that whenever I speak about this show to everyone, a lot of people that I know very well don't believe that we ever made it to the moon. And that blows me away. They go, no, it's conspiracy theories. And then one of their arguments is, when they get out to the moon, did they never go back?
They did.
No. After that whole sort of situation.
Yeah, they went more than once.
Yeah, but why did they never go back? Why did they shut that down?
Catherine, well, what's the answer?
What's the answer?
Oh, so many things to unpack there. So, first of all, we absolutely went to the moon. There were far too many people involved, too many countries involved to keep that secret. And satellites have gone around the moon since from lots of countries and taken photos of the landing sites. You know, I've seen the rocks that are being brought back from the moon. They're phenomenal. But, you know, the reason that we're going back is because we're going back for different reasons. You know, and humanity hasn't been to the moon with people for almost 50 years because back then it was for different reasons. It was the Cold War. It was a lot more expensive. They did some science, and then there was a lot more to do in low Earth orbit with the shuttles because there's so much science you can do in microgravity there. We're going back because there's so much to be done now on the moon that we can do with all of our new automation technologies and so on. So instead of going, you know, to the equator part, we're going to the South Pole of the moon. And at the South Pole, there's a lot of things we can learn about the geology of the moon and the Earth's formation. And that gives us major inputs into things like climate change models, into learning to live sustainably on the moon, radiation research, and so on. There's much to be done. And this time we'll go back, you know, as a team of astronauts from a team of nations, not just planning the American flag.
Oh my God, For All Mankind is coming real.
Catherine, when you gave up your previous job to be an astronaut and the hope of getting to this level, when you go and do all the training which you've been doing for the last 12 months over in Germany, do you get paid? And I don't want to know the number, but is it a proper job that you turn up to and you get paid?
I mean, it's a proper job. So one way to think of being an astronaut, it's like being in defence, right? Like you're doing a job, even though it's a cool job, it's a job for your country, you get paid for it, and it's part of just a cool job that you do. So I work for the Australian Space Agency still. I did before as well, and that continues. So I'm looking forward to getting back into work there while I continue to keep trained and ready in case I get a flight.
Now, the other thing that we should note is that not only are you an astronaut, you're also a mum of two. Now, how have you managed to do all this? I mean, it's a classic question, but
with a lot of coffee.
It's super impressive. Were there any other mothers in the program?
Absolutely. I was in a class of 6, including myself, and half of us were parents, men and women. And, you know, it's not uncommon for, you know, astronauts to have kids after one flight and then fly again when they have kids.
What happens up in space?
I mean...
Bit of peace and quiet.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's a whole of family endeavour being an astronaut, just like it is for any, like, very demanding job, which requires time away from home sometimes. So for this year, my family was with me in Germany. They got to be part of the adventure. The kids love being at the astronaut centre and the mock-ups in the big shed they called it the astronauts playground, and it's a wonderful experience for them too.
It's pretty cool to be able to say my mum's an astronaut.
No one else is going to be able to say that. Like every other parent in that class, their parents are boring compared to the children. According to the children, it's like, I don't want to hear about your mum that works at a shop.
Yeah, my mum's an astronaut.
Your mum's a nurse, yay. My mum's an astronaut. Like, I win.
It's the
Everyone
greatest
stop discussing
playground
it.
flex of all time.
It's incredible.
Are you nervous at all? I don't think you would be, because even the way you answered the moon question, you are so technically involved, and your knowledge base is so big with this. I suppose you've got a very analytical brain about the dangers if they will or won't happen, yeah?
The dangers are sobering. Like the end-to-end design mission risk is like 1 in 200 that you know you might not make it, which is sobering. And that's why we go to do important work. We don't just go up there to take a photo. We go up there to do good science and good research that the world needs. But that being said, you know, having designed space stations and being part of the designing the capsule that's going back around the moon, I know the level of dedication and effort that goes into, you know, the work behind those those missions. And my husband's a space engineer that's worked on those capsules too, so he'll
my
be feeling
God.
the pressure. Should I go
How
up?
smart. It's your family.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Yeah, it'd be nice to him while he's on the ground still doing all the controls.
Hey, Catherine, what's the physical component to all this and the training component
And the toll
to that?
it can take on your body. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important to be fit as an astronaut. We don't have to be athletes, but you need certain types of fitness. First of all, they have a long career, so you remain healthy and can keep going to space again and
Yeah,
again
that goes
should
on
you
as
need
golfers
to.
do, Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, some astronauts are over 60,
Yeah.
but in space, you have to do about 2 hours of exercise a day. There's a little
Wow.
gym up there, treadmill, bike,
And
weights
gym.
machine.
Leg day.
Yeah.
Really? A
Because
treadmill in space?
There is. They kind of hold you down with bungee cords. And yeah, it's important, right? Because in space, your body's the ultimate adapter. You don't need muscles and strong bones in the
Yes.
same way. So if your body sheds that, you won't be able to do things like spacewalks or come back to Earth. So because, you lose bone mass at something like 6 times the rate of a postmenopausal woman.
That's
You
extraordinary,
can be
isn't it?
like a guinea pig for medical research for things like
Oh, wow.
osteoporosis. And that's an important part of the job.
Yeah.
So even if like your mission goes right, your body is still on the line up there. And that's why you're looked after by a team of flight surgeons on the ground to make sure you're in the best condition possible to get the job done. And actually Australia has some really good space medicine research and flight surgeon capability that's been involved a little bit in my training.
Catherine, one last question before we let you go. Has anyone ever thrown up in space when they're in a shuttle? And if so, what happens? Because
So many times.
really? So what happens when the spew's floating around? What do we do?
Great question as everyone's having breakfast.
Do you not think, Sean?
Yeah, I do
because
think
that's
you
naturally
do.
I
one
think
thing
you
that would expel
scramble
out of your
away.
body. That'll be one thing that'll come out of your body that you're not expecting it to. You can control most other things.
You wouldn't want to have a big night the night
Yeah,
before.
so what would happen?
Well, in space, I mean, if you're to vomit, you probably have to go get it with a bag.
Yes.
Like
you're trying to catch butterflies.
But most astronauts actually get sick for the first few days up there, so it's pretty rough. You're encouraged to take a lot of medication. If you have to take the strongest medication, one of your crewmates has to catheterize you and all sorts of fun stuff. So you don't want to be getting sick. There's far worse things than catching
Imagine
vomit.
me having to put a tube up your wing.
Oh, that is the worst thing ever.
That's just not good.
Actually, let's have a go at it.
This is probably why you boys are never going to be
Just for the
astronauts.
show. Just for the show.
I cannot believe it.
Catherine, we could talk to you all day, but we know we've got to let you go.
I'm so excited for you, and I can just tell
Yes.
you're such an awesome representative of Australia, so thank you.
And fingers
thanks
crossed
for
that
having me.
Australia pulls a mission
Oh,
together and
do
you
it.
get to go to space.
Yeah,
It's
this
pretty
is huge,
exciting.
Great
Catherine.
story.
Thank you, and that I don't vomit. I need that
No,
medicine.
no.
I know.
You're
And
fine.
there's Catherine. Oh, she's in the cockpit chasing vomit with a
And then
bag.
you don't have to catheterise your mates. Thank you so much, Catherine.
Thanks for having
talking
me.
to us.
Bye, mate.
Incredible.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
The world at the moment is a gasp.
Are they? Are they, Gus?
Adele, that's
Hello,
her there,
Adele.
right? She said.
Hello.
She said a lot. She said that she doesn't plan to work on any new music. Once
Yeah,
her
no, I saw
scheduled
this.
dates
Yeah,
at
until
her
she breaks up with her
residency.
boyfriend, though, and then it'll be on.
We don't know. They're very happy.
No, I know, but
I
she
know,
was
but she's
very
got
happy with the
nothing
last
to write
one.
about.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like Adele's one of those people where, when we keep saying, oh, if you got all the money, why do you keep doing
Yeah, I
it?
know.
I feel like she's one of the people that will go, I've got enough.
She did say she was never going to tour again and then did a
I get
Vegas
that.
residency.
But
So
Vegas residency, I don't get that because you're exhausted every day of the
Yeah,
week.
but the money, Sean, is
the money's
insane, and you don't have to
amazing.
travel
But you
around.
need it.
So basically,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, okay.
and it
You
gets
can base your family there.
most artists would love to get a Vegas, and it's
Yeah.
only offered to certain
Well, Elvis
caliber of
didn't.
artists.
He
Are
wasn't
you
that
two
happy
still
about
there,
it.
by the way?
What?
Are you two still doing their Sphere tour there?
Oh, I thought you meant us.
Us too. I thought you meant us too. I was going to say, I can't remember a Vegas residency.
We should do one.
Yeah,
No, I
my
think
favourite
they're
thing. My favourite thing about her is her and her husband when they bought their new beautiful property. It used to be owned by Sylvester Stallone, and one of the conditions of sale was at the pool there is a Sylvester Stallone statue of him with his arms up in the air like Rocky.
Rocky.
Who has that at their own house?
Well,
Do you
he
know what I
does,
mean?
and
Yeah,
she loved it so
exactly.
much. She said that has to be included
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
sale. So now
Yeah.
she's got Rocky by her pool as well. I love her. Anyway, so at least she's done enough music for us to play her
Yes.
forever. Like this.
Like this.
Remember this live?
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah, remember that Nathan and I didn't pay and Natalie had paid all
Yeah,
the
but I
money?
was up the front though.
You was.
I could see her eyelashes.
Yeah.
I was that close,
Yeah.
so I'm happy with
Right.
that. I have no regrets about that because
Nah.
the seats I had were amazing,
Anyway,
even though
nah.
I paid $300 a piece.
Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast. It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Hi, guys.
Hi, no.
Nathan Morris back after a couple of days.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not
So
fun.
you got hit
You're a
over
bit-
the
you're a bit
weekend.
crook, yeah.
Yeah. It sort of it hit me on Saturday, and during that day I had a very busy day, right? So like I had so much stuff doing because at the moment I'm going through a real cleanse at home, a really cathartic experience of organising everything in my
It's
house.
not even spring.
Nat, it's just such a, and I'm finally at the end, and it's just the best thing I've ever
Time
done.
to mess it up again.
I just really hope that doesn't happen. But during that process, I realised how many pots for pot plants that have died over the years.
Yeah,
that
you
I
are
just have their
killer.
Yeah,
Yep.
I have the plants ready, the pots ready to go, and I'm stuff it. I'm going to go to Bunnings and I'm going to get some plants.
Get some more things to kill.
Yeah. So
You don't really kill them. You
I
just
don't-
let them
they
die.
die slowly.
It's on them.
I'm also torture them until their lives end.
Until they just give up.
One of them's right near the sink, like I probably know,
Yeah.
like 40
I know.
centimetres away from the sink, and I can see it's going, give me some of the water.
I have
It's
one
so
in the
rude.
bathroom, and I think about that all the
Yeah.
time as it looks down on the bathroom
Yeah.
basin, and I'm like, I could.
Yeah.
don't.
No,
That's rude.
when I
don't.
talk about
That's so
getting
rude.
plants, I bought 17. Right, so then, shut up, Harry. That was my night. I said,
Mass murderer?
I thought I'm going to murder a lot of greenery. So I went there, and then I bought the plants, and then I went to Mum and Dad's house. Now, while I was at Bunnings, I was starting to feel a certain way, but I didn't really register. I
Yeah.
thought I was just tired. Same at Mum and Dad's house. It hit me later on that night, hours later,
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of early in the morning. And what I'd
So
been
sore
doing.
throat. What were the symptoms?
Oh, no, it was very achy all over.
Yeah.
Sore throat. I've been coughing up a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. Headache.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
a massive headache.
Yeah.
It felt different.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is a lot. And my body was getting consumed by it. Yeah.
Full on.
This was
Full on,
live
yeah.
from my house. That's
yeah.
the plants, actually.
Screaming now.
There's been 2 days. I reckon they're just all home throwing themselves off the benches. Just like, kill me now. I'm going to get those like a mass murder. Anyway, so now just some backstory here, right? Our boss, Dave, his mother got very,
few years
very,
ago.
very sick. Like very sick all of a sudden, and we nearly lost her. And it
Yes.
was the most traumatic thing that I've ever seen anyone that I know go through. Like he was saying his goodbyes. She recovered and
Yes.
she's amazing
It,
now.
it was
so
it was
happy.
a miraculous recovery,
yeah.
considering that they did say
Yeah.
like she's probably not going to
Yeah.
last the weekend,
And
which
get
is
this,
extraordinary.
get this, what she had was Legionnaire's disease.
And how did she get it?
She got it from doing gardening.
Potting mix,
And
yeah.
potting mix. So in my brain, that's always been a danger.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
it is a danger,
It is a
especially when
danger.
you first open the bag, because
And
it's kind of
also-
sitting in there, you know,
I'm
and there's kind of a bit of a puff
yes,
when you open
the
it.
puff.
Yes.
Like whenever you do an archaeological dig, Sean, and you open a mummy, the puff of stuff
And-
comes
and
out.
people don't
No,
think
no,
about
I
it.
lived this with Megan. She's
Yeah.
been to hospital twice over this, by
Yeah.
the way.
Okay.
Twice.
So I had put on 2 COVID masks. So I didn't
It's
have
not enough.
the proper one. So I put in 2, and I made sure that I was away from the bag and everything like that. So long story short, I had convinced myself that I was
Legionnaire's disease.
going to
has got
die
you.
of
I
Legionnaire's
love that you thought
disease.
Legionnaire's disease before COVID.
I know.
It's everywhere.
It was the fear I had with the potting mix of what Dave's mum went through.
Yeah, sure.
Did you start Googling things and
Yeah,
making
yeah,
sure
yeah.
that the symptoms...
I went down a bit of a rabbit
that
hole.
matched you? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
and,
that's it.
And they
But then-
kind of do, because it is an upper
It is.
respiratory tract infection.
And
so,
that's what I
yeah,
got. It's all up
lungs,
here.
yeah.
So I was like, oh my God. And then I was actually thinking, well, if I've got it, I've got it. Let's just see how it pans out.
Oh, you're just going to let it
I'm
ride?
just going to submit to the dragon and see how I pan out. Because then I thought as well, at least when, at least when they come around, Mum and Dad come around, people come around to my house afterwards, whether it's to clean it up or something like that, at least it's all organised.
Just to grab the
Yeah,
body.
just to redistribute the plants.
That's right.
Rather than just leaving with the pot plant.
But like when I woke up the next day, like because I was only sleeping in short spats as well because I couldn't
Yeah.
really
Yes.
breathe properly or whatever. When I woke up the next day, I thought, okay, and then I realised, no, you went down a bit of a hole last night, and
Perhaps you don't have Legionnaire's disease. Perhaps you've just got a cold.
Yeah.
My dad, if you ring him and have a conversation about how you're feeling or what's sore or what you've done, he is Dr. Google all the time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he can panic a nation
Yes.
in a
Yes.
heartbeat.
yeah,
Yes.
you need to take a step back. But
You
it was
do.
only because I went in there with the fear
Yes,
of
the
potting mix and
was
what
the-
happened
real
with
thing,
Dave's
mate.
mum.
Yeah.
Because Legionnaire's disease,
Yeah, it's not good.
it's not people walking around with it every day.
Suboptimal.
Yeah. So I want to talk to when people have gone down that
When you
that
convinced
rabbit
yourself
hole.
that you had something that it turns out you didn't have, but
Yeah.
you've gone to the extreme
Yeah.
and gone, no, that's definitely what I've got.
Yeah, and maybe even you went to the doctor, they told you didn't. Nah. I do. I have it, and I'm a goner.
It does remind me of when I got bitten by that spider, and I told everyone I was basically dying. Everyone get in the car.
You got all the kids in the car and took off for the hospital, and then
I rang Ken,
who's the doctor,
and he said, "All you need to do is take an antihistamine." So I thought, "Right, turn around. We're all out, kids. We're done."
If you're a healthy adult, a redback isn't going to kill you.
All right, we want to know what you convinced yourself you had.
Did you convince yourself that you had something really bad wrong with yourself, and then it turns out you didn't? You didn't, even though you had been playing with potty mix.
And I reckon everyone's got one of these people in their lives
Yeah, they
that
do.
always has the worst thing.
Yeah, Sean and I do.
Legionnaire's disease.
It's you.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean in podcast form.
Extraordinary that Nathan's even here today, because on Saturday he had Legionnaire's disease, according to Nathan Morris.
Yeah.
Because he'd been playing in potty mix and then he got a cold.
And also the backstory, of course, our boss Dave, his mother Nellie died of Legionnaire's disease
can
from doing
happen
the same thing.
from
So
potty
it was
mix,
in my head. It was a danger that I
But
was
you had
ready.
2 masks on.
2 masks.
After you did the homework on Legionnaire's disease to be able to pinpoint this was the issue, how do you deal with it?
What do you mean?
You go to hospital.
Oh, did you, lemon tea or something? What
No,
gets you over it?
I had an English breakfast tea.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Which would
Nailed
fix
it.
it, Sean.
Some
But you
chicken
got to
soup,
understand, if you go in there thinking you've got something in your head, straight away you start Googling for Legionnaire's disease. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, and really...
If you do have Legionnaire's disease, you need to go to hospital. Okay, just for future reference, in case you do have it. Yeah. Debbie's in Adelaide. Hi, Deb.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi,
How are you?
We firstly thank God you're here with us, living.
Yeah, that's right, because obviously there was a bit of a health crisis. What did you convince yourself you had?
So, in my early 20s, I'd suffered a stroke, and the symptoms I'd been experiencing not long after giving birth to my little son, 16-odd years ago, I was absolutely convinced I was headed down that track again.
Jeez, that would have been terrifying.
Yeah, I was totally convinced, absolutely. And so we went in, I got my mum to look after my son, and we were sitting there and we had a few tests, doing a few things. Randomly, one of them was a urine test. I went, okay. Came back in, he sat us down and he said, look, well done, you're not having a stroke, but congratulations.
Why?
You're pregnant.
Oh, would you rather a stroke?
Yes. Having been in the situation where you've had both, that's extraordinary.
Wow.
That's full on.
Hey,
Thanks, Deb.
Deb's
gone.
Oh,
she's
gone?
dropped out.
Okay,
Yep. That's okay. But great story, Debbie. Thank you. Abby, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Abby.
Okay, Abby, what did you convince yourself you had?
I convinced myself I had a brain tumour.
Oh, God. That
seems to be going around.
Yes. What happened?
Well, I didn't have a brain tumour. What it was, I'd gone through a breakup, and every night before I was going to bed, I was actually having a glass of Baileys that the person who'd broken up with me had bought me to sort of soften the blow. So I was going to work in the morning, and I'd go to my friend at work, oh, my God, I think I'm sick. I said, I keep having these terrible, terrible headaches every morning. I can't even see straight.
Yeah.
And I said, I think I need to see a doctor. I said, Graham's broken up with me, and now I'm dying.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know what to do. I was in tears. And she said, are you sure? I said, yeah. She said, it could just be, like, she diagnosed me with PTSD, so she was as bad as me.
Yeah.
And then about a week later, I went to her, do you know what? Those symptoms have gone. And I suddenly realised symptoms stopped when the Bailey's bottle ran out.
So you were having a hangover?
It was just a hangover.
Hangover. No wonder Graham left.
Yeah, exactly.
that Graham has said, I don't want to be with you anymore, but here's a bottle of Baileys.
Now rock yourself to sleep.
Every night.
It's not a tumour.
You off, you lush.
Oh, that's great.
Abby,
thank
you.
That
That
made
just
me
brought
smile so much.
brought a bit of
face
joy. Thank you. Carrie's in Joondalup. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Carrie. Did you convince yourself that you had something really wrong with you?
Yeah, so about 5 years ago, I'm 40, so about 5 years ago, I've never really suffered acne.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm doing my daily routine. I'm a bit OCD with my daily routine for my toners and my moisturisers, etc., etc. So the kids really take the piss out of me because obviously I'm, packing everything to go on holiday.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything's got to be in its place.
Yeah.
So I'm there doing my daily routine, and all of a sudden I start getting acne, like really bad, like blotchy.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, off to the doctor, after a week of this, and it's not going. I'm thinking, is it hormonal?
Oh, God.
Anyway, off to the doctors I go, and he's like, okay, you've got a serious acne problem. What are we going to do? So we need to stop you. You need to stop everything you're doing. Use this.
Yeah.
Give me some tablets.
Oh.
I come home, explain to the kids, and they start pissing their pants laughing at me.
What?
Like, they've only gone and put chili in my moisturiser.
Oh, my God! You had bread monsters. That's an outrage.
I'm convinced I'm having a midlife crisis. Going through the home of the
peeling off.
Oh, so they saw the opportunity. Look at all the stuff Mum does to her face.
Oh, my
Harry.
God. I cannot believe that they had the evil foresight to do that to their mother.
Like, it's one thing to think to do it, but to actually do it
Can I
is
tell you,
unbelievable.
I love your children.
Thank you,
That
Carrie.
is funny.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean, and the podcast. Jugglers.
It's always good when Cirque du Soleil come to town. They're setting up as we speak, actually. Up for grabs, we have that VIP double pass to the premiere of Lucia on July 25th. This is, the VIP bar access. You get your separate, the Tapis Rouge entrance, the whole deal.
The Tapis Rouge?
Get a complimentary
red
gift.
carpet means, Nathan.
Does it really?
Yeah. Tapis means carpet. Rouge means
That's
red.
a great name
Rouge,
for a
okay.
restaurant, Tapis Rouge.
Tapis Rouge.
Is there one called the Tapis Rouge?
I don't know.
Okay, that's ours. Copyright. Copyright.
We've got two people who are raring to go. Melanie's in Mandurah. Hello.
Good morning.
Hi, Mel.
We're looking for multi-skillers who could do two things at once. Mel, is that you?
Yes, I think it is.
Okay,
talking
we'll
herself
wait
up.
and see. You're up against Renee this morning from Baldivis. Good morning, Renee.
Hello.
Hi, Renee. Do you reckon you can do two things at once? Of course you can. You're a woman.
If you ask my husband, he says no, but we'll see.
Wow.
Buy him a bottle of Baileys and get out
break
of
up
there.
with him. Buy him a bottle of Baileys and get out of there.
I might have to call past the bottle shop.
I know, right? Okay, here's what's going to happen. We are going to play a song and ask you a trivia question at the same time. If you think you know the title of the song and the answer, buzz in with your name. Get it right, you take that round. Get it wrong, we move on to the next round. There will be 5 rounds in total. Whoever is leading at the end of it takes the prize. We'll test your buzzers. Melanie?
Melanie.
Working well. Renee?
Renee.
Perfect.
Beautiful work. Okay.
Right,
Here
okay.
we go. It's time to start juggling, hey?
Round one.
Here we go, Harry. Here's your question. How many premierships did Adam Simpson coach the West Coast Eagles to?
Renee.
Yes, Renee?
Espresso
Yep.
and one.
Renee, you're on the board.
Oh,
Well
she's
done.
a juggler. She a juggler.
Juggled that one very
She is
nicely.
nice.
Renee leads 1-0.
All right, here we go. Get the balls in the air again, Harry. Which fruit makes prunes?
Melanie.
Yes, Melanie?
Raw and plums.
Raw and plums?
I love it.
Sounds
You
like we're
girls are
talking about
great.
something else
You
then,
are
Sean.
100% correct.
some cream
It's
for
tied
that.
up at 1-1. We have a battle royale
Oh,
on
my
our hands.
gosh, you two are good.
I know. Here we go. It's time for round 3. A mule is a cross between a donkey and a what?
Melanie.
Yes, Melanie?
Texas Hold'em and an ass.
It's not
It's
an
not an
ass, I'm
ass.
afraid.
Not an ass.
It's a horse.
It's a
just a
horse.
good old-fashioned
Horsey.
horse.
But you know what? We live in a day where you can get your horses
Yes.
and your asses confused.
Yeah. It's so good that you can say ass
So
on
we have
radio.
it's not on you.
No
it's on
point
us.
awarded. The score remains at 1-1. All right, round 4.
Right, balls in the air. Let's do
Here
it.
we go. Question. How many Matrix films are there?
Melanie.
Oh, I think Melanie got in
Melanie,
first.
Melanie.
Melanie?
All the small things and 3.
Yeah, I knew you were going to go there. It's actually 4.
It's 4, and I've seen all of them. They get worse and worse.
Yeah, they do.
They get bigger budgets
I've
and they
never
get
seen one of them.
crapper.
Yeah. Doesn't it
wow.
suck when you peak early?
I remember the Matrix franchise came out when DVD players first came because
right.
that was the first DVD. People would buy a DVD player for $800, by the way, and they would get the Matrix DVD to show everyone how amazing this new technology was.
Yeah.
And it blew people's minds.
How many people were getting around in those long black coats at the time?
And dodging bullets.
Oh,
in
mate.
slow-mo.
All I remember is DVD players were so expensive then. My friend's brother Eugen had one, and we'd go around there on weekends. There were people from far and wide come to look at the DVD
What was
player.
his name?
Eugen.
Eugen?
Yep.
What's that?
It's his name.
It's probably
German?
German or
yeah.
probably a German version of Eugene, I would think.
Yeah, yes.
But we digress. We've got a competition.
Are you serious?
It's time to
Are
get
you just still here?
It's time to get to round 5. So this is the decider. It's 1-1.
Okay.
This is the last round. I don't want to put the
geez.
pressure on.
All right.
Okay.
But I'm putting the pressure on.
Listen very carefully.
Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me.
Who is the federal opposition leader?
Never seen anybody do.
Think about it.
Melanie?
Yes, Melanie?
Dance Monkey, and is it Peter Dutton?
Yes, Melanie.
No one ever knows.
You didn't believe you.
No, no.
Didn't trust
No one
your
ever
own
knows.
judgment. You have judged it beautifully, Mel. You've won that
And
VIP
Voldemort.
double pass to the premiere of Lucia on July 25th. You're off to Cirque du Soleil, Mel.
Oh, that was a good round,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
That's good.
You girls played brilliantly. Mel's the winner. Congratulations.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
It's Nathan and Sean's book week.
Oh, we are pretty excited about Book Week, everybody. It's back. Last year, we had the best time
Oh
at
my
Bull Creek
gosh.
Primary School. We were all dressed up.
Yeah.
We got costumes on.
Yeah.
We did the whole bit. I got on the Bonita and sewed my Pippi Longstocking costume.
I have to tell you, it was so great. At the end of that show, we went, we are doing this every year.
And we're doing it.
Yeah.
We're doing it again.
We certainly are. We're going to be broadcasting our show live from one lucky school in Perth during Book Week.
Plus, you're not only going to get us three there
what a
wearing
treat.
something ridiculous, but also we're going to bring $5,000.
Say what?
A $5,000 donation to your school. Oh, my God.
Now, you need to get your teacher to register your school details now via the Nova Player app. Make sure that you've got the principal's approval and all the rest of it. But, we would love to come to your school.
Yeah, we
It's
certainly
so
would.
much fun.
It was so good. Yeah, it was great. One of the best things we did.
All right, so remember, your teacher, it can't be mum or dad.
No.
It can't be anyone else.
But,
it has to be
but you need to nag your teacher. Nag. I know it's only like the second day back at school, but really lay into them.
All right. Registrations are open.
We
Let's
want to
go.
come. Hit up the Nova Player teachers.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.